Hello out there, my name is Laolu Akonde and you are on to Inside Sources. But first, it's another edition of Your Take, where we present the views of our audience on a number of national issues based on previous editions of Inside Sources. The first one is a comment on the roundtable that had Mr. Baba Yusuf and Mr. Femi Odere. He says, this is educative and excellent, and it's coming from East Mobile. He says, brilliant discourse. I love how both analysts, including the one that represented APC, how they were objective. This program is educative and interesting. Kudos. Thank you. The next one is from Mr. Roberta Oku. Mr. Roberta Oku says, excellent program and discussion on the national issues. Keep it up. And now we come to the edition that featured Mr. Bayo Ononuga, the presidential spokesperson. The title says, Tinubu should stay in Nigeria and fix the challenges. This is coming from Mr. Tolulope Akinrimade. We should prioritize the safety of a president that has not prioritized our safety and well-being. Wow. Must he travel via the private jet or must he travel at all? He should sit at home to fix the issues. What has his traveling brought to the economy or the insecurity of the country? Have they done the analysis of those that are dying or committing suicide as a result of their economic and vital environment? Well, those are very compelling questions, and I'm sure that they do have some answers. The next one is on my take on Bobrisky. And the commentator is Innocent Demudia, who says that was apt. Thank you very much for this apt and sincere, conscience-driven submissions. Keep it up. Thank you. The next is on the edition that featured Mr. Sheung Onigbide of Budget and Mr. Khalid Aminu, that young protester that was detained for 66 days. He says it is enlightening, and this is coming from Mr. Joshua. He says this is enlightening. People should learn from this. And then the next is on the edition that featured the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Mr. Kingsley Chinda, and also had a roundtable conversation that had Baba Yusuf and Mojid Dairu. This is what the guy said. Professional analysis is coming from Musa Adedibu. Says, seriously, this is the kind of discussion that should last 2 hours. Very intelligent discussions. God bless the analyst. It is a professional analysis devoid of any element of bias on Nigeria's major cancer, which is regionalism and tribalism. God bless Nigeria. Well, thank you for that. The next feedback is on my take titled Breaking the Chains of Mediocrity. The guy says, and his name is Ephraim, politicians are abysmal failure. Very good talk. Our politicians have posted abysmal failure. What a country where the ugly talk down on the decent. The next comment is on the one that featured Cardinal John Onoyeko. That's the episode that featured the Cardinal. The title is Labour Party's Disappointing Performance in the Legislature, and it's coming from Inegbehe. It says, Labour Party is the most disappointing party in Nigeria. Right now, they are just there for themselves. They never disagree with the APC. I hope people in the Labour Party in the National Assembly, they are listening. The next comment says, Voice of Reason, and this is coming from Mr. Innocent Amafule. Very brilliant interview and analysis. Thank you, Cardinal John, and thank you, Inside Sources. We say thank you to you back. Next, we have Teotescon. It's the voice of reason whenever he speaks. That is speaking of the Cardinal. Thank you so much. And finally, this was sent to Inside Sources by a viewer from Wisconsin, United States. It says, suddenly, competition wakes up the dead. Competition has its resuscitating effect. It wakes up the giant even in a dwarf. It jostles out hope out of the hopeless. It says yes, where no has been a long-drawn sing-song of negative vibes. Long time ago, Port Harcourt Refinery was dead with visible rigor mortis, but Port Harcourt Refinery was not buried. And then Dangote Refinery was born, and Dangote Refinery spilled out crude oil on a beakup and buoyant scale, and fuel-filled tanks roared out of Dangote Refinery into the marketplace. And suddenly, grandmother Port Harcourt Refinery woke up from the dead. Dangote Refinery woke up the dead. who said competition cannot wake up the dead in Nigeria. It just did. And that came from Dr. Fola Ojo, who says smack down from Wisconsin. Thank you so much. And Inside Sources will be right back. Welcome back. We are opening Inside Sources today with a discussion on the state of the nation. Quite a few issues. Hopefully we get the time to get to them. Joining me here in the studio is Mr. Mojeed Dahiru, a TV analyst and newspaper columnist. Mr. Mojeed, welcome back to Inside Sources.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. And today we have an analyst who is joining us by Zoom from the United Kingdom, Mr. Ayo Akinfe, who is the chairman of the Central Association of Nigerians in the United Kingdom. Mr. Akinfe, you are welcome to Inside Sources.
Thank you very much.
All right, good. So let's start from Dahiru. This refinery situation seems to be getting exciting. For several years, the NNPC refineries, were dead. Dangote Refinery came up, and now, Port Harcourt Refinery is running at between 60 to 70% capacity. What's your take on that?
I think it's a good development. And it will seem as though Dangote Refinery that's come on stream kind of spurred the NNPC to also revamp their own refinery. But you will agree with me that it was a long process, really. It's a journey that started yesterday from the previous administration when the contract for the rehabilitation of the old Port Harcourt Refinery was awarded. And thankfully, the current administration also saw it through and made sure that it was seen to conclusion. And by the grace of God, for the first time in many years, we saw products being rolled out from that facility. Products like DPK, diesel, aviation fuel, kerosene, and of course, petrol.
Goodness.
So I think it's a good development. And we hope that the NNPC will be able to sustain this feat. To also bring on stream the second Port Harcourt refinery, which has a larger capacity. And also quickly restate the Warren refinery. And if possible, to get on stream the Kaduna refinery. So with this, I'm sure Nigeria will be self-sufficient to some extent in local refining capacity and be able to export as well. So it's a good development.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Ayo Akinfe. Let's get the take of Nigerians in diaspora about what has happened in the oil and gas sector, specifically the revival of the refinery, the public refineries, soon after the Dangote refinery came on stream. Ayo, what's your take?
Well, my view, and I'm sure that of most diasporans, is that eventually, ultimately, demand and supply fundamentals are going to be what will work in this market. What we've had in Nigeria is that a cabal have created artificial scarcity, and that's hiked prices. If you have 20 to 30 refineries functioning at full capacity, it will force prices down. So for me, it's like, ultimately what we need to do is have government policy that encourages investors to open refineries. For instance, we have 36 states. I don't see why each state should not have at least one refinery, to supply its people. That will force prices down. So my view is, I agree with what has been said earlier. I agree with one, competition forcing others to act. And it's my sincere view that, by 2025, by the end of 2025, there'll be so many operators in the markets, prices will come tumbling down.
Okay. Thank you, Ayo and Dahiru, for the opening comments. So the other issue that I wanted us to treat, and I'll take that to the studio from Dahiru, is that, so do we expect, or is it imaginable to expect that what seems to be the competition now, at least, at some level, not quite, on equal level yet, would that influence the pricing?
No, not very much. And this brings us back to the issue of energy security, especially when you talk about the affordability component. I am an apostle of subsidies. I believe that every nation must determine citizen affordability threshold for energy prices. Because energy is the oxygen of the economy. What oxygen or air is to the living thing is what energy is to the economy. And so I do not believe that the price of energy should at all times be determined by market forces. I'm one of those who do not believe that. And so we need to take a second look at this issue. Now that we have local refining capacity coming up, I think it will be easier to manage a price intervention mechanism.
Now that we have...
it is measurable, you know what you are paying for. I know that importation and subsidizing importation of refined products can be very tricky.
Yes.
Because of the amorphous nature of importation itself. But now that you have refineries working at home, it is easy to intervene either from the production side or from the utilization side. So I believe that whether we like it or not as a nation, we must still come around the table to have a discussion on how do we intervene in the pricing mechanism so as to bring it below the affordability threshold of Nigerian citizens. For a country of 70,000 naira minimum wage a month, petrol price at over 8,000 naira is way beyond affordability threshold and is affecting the economy. It has impoverished Nigerians. It has reduced productivity. It has created serious economic crisis. In fact, in the UK, you call it cost of living crisis. In Nigeria, I can assure you that what we're having is cost of existence crisis. The government must take up this role because it's a matter of national security.
Right.
Energy security is a matter of national security. So government has a responsibility to intervene in pricing, contrary to what some neoliberal pundits may want to say. So the only way price can come down is when government intervenes. Otherwise, we have to wait patiently until there is a fall in the price of crude oil,
on the international market.
In the international market. And that will impact us negatively as well from one side.
In terms of our foreign earnings.
Foreign earnings. So I think we need to have a conversation now about how do we now intervene in pricing so that Nigerians can have the benefit of being citizens of an oil-producing country like other oil-producing countries.
So now let's go to the next issue, and I'm going to start with Ayo on this one. The president has done quite a bit of traveling, you know, and of course there's already talk of shuttle diplomacy. On Wednesday, he went to Paris, you know, to honor a request, an invitation from the president of France for a state visit. Now, Ayo, you are out there in the diaspora, you are in the UK. What do you think is the benefit that Nigeria is getting, might get, from this quote-unquote shuttle diplomacy? Or do you think that it's actually becoming wasteful? Ayo.
Well, I think the principle of it is good. It's right to try and attract foreign investment, foreign direct investment. The unfortunate situation is that it's not working at the moment. And you see, figures don't lie. We diasporans remit $25 billion a year into the Nigerian economy. All right. No foreign investor even comes close. Something like France, we should have $25 billion in foreign direct investment from France, $25 billion from the UK, $25 billion from the US, $25 billion from Canada. That is what the president, the foreign minister, the finance minister should be pursuing. But we're not seeing all this. So I would like to beg the question, these foreign trips, are they really, really investment driven, or are they just holidays? You know, I would like to see those on the president's entourage. How many businessmen are there? How many bankers are there? How many economists are there? You know, if you were to go to somewhere like France, for instance, and look at some of the investors, say Peugeot Automobile or Citroën, you know, they would need Nigerians to sit down and tell them the benefit of coming to open a plant in Nigeria. We should be able to tell them, look, we'll offer you a 10-year tax holiday, we'll offer you highly skilled staff, we'll obviously offer you security, we will offer you, 24-hour electricity, water, good schools for your children. All these things are packages like this put together before the president goes on his trips. You know, I would like to know, because at the moment, I don't think enough homework is going into these trips, and they're not pushing hard enough. And as we can see, we just haven't attracted the foreign direct investment.
Thank you, Ayo. Majid, what do you think? Are things that it's not looking like a foreign investment?
It looks more like holiday.
Looks more like an holiday. What do you think?
Well, the optics really sometimes may suggest that indeed it looks like our leaders just like to, hop on the next available jet and just. However, I have a different opinion about the entire concept of foreign direct investments. I think that any country that is willing to develop and grow its wealth of nation should actually be pursuing overseas investment. That is, what Nigeria should be doing now is looking towards countries of Africa, maybe South America, and any other countries in the category of less developing economies, to also invest Nigerian entities in those countries.
Okay.
So that Nigeria will also become a foreign investor nation. Because foreign investment by its nature is more profitable to the country of origin than the country of destination. Foreign investment is predatory by nature. And so if you look at the countries of the West that have grown so much in wealth, it's because of their presence in the world market.
The whole idea of colonialism.
That's what it is. So essentially, Nigerians seem to be jumping at a bit where economic colonialism is being discussed under the guise of foreign direct investment. So we want to see Nigeria, for instance, explore economic opportunities in the oil and gas industry of South Sudan for the Iranos, for the Dangotes, for the Matrix Oil, and other local entities. We want to see the Nigerian government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Investment, explore opportunities for telecoms, for the global comms in, say, Ghana, in, say, Togo, and, say, Sierra Leone. We want to see the hospitality industry in Nigeria get a foothold in the tourism sector of Gambia, where our homegrown hospitality entities can have a space, an investment space, to benefit from the pounds, the euro, and the dollars that come into that country every year by holidaymakers. These are the kind of things I think Nigeria should be doing now. And the only time you would actually go after foreign investment will be to enhance your local capabilities for export competitiveness. So for instance, if you are presenting an entity into Nigeria, it is to manufacture goods and services that will be exported.
Yeah. And then their plants will be here in Nigeria.
Exported in partnership with Nigerian entities, you export those entities. Or if you want to also help enhance the capacities of Nigerians to export these other less developed economies, you can need foreign partnership in that regard. That should be the case, because every country must be outward looking. You need to look beyond your borders to shore up your sources of revenue, not to build your wealth of nation. That was the purpose behind colonialism itself. Before that, it was mercantilism, and now neoliberalism, and neocolonialism, and of course, so-called foreign direct investment. So we also need to become an investor nation. And we don't seem to be thinking about that. Our policymakers don't seem to be thinking about that at all.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, Ayo, I wanted you to respond and also try and expand on what you had said before, that, look, Nigerians in diaspora actually, do more than foreign direct investments, So what do you have in mind?
Well, what I have in mind is you look at other countries, India, the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. In all of these countries, the equivalent of NIDCOM, the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, has put in place structures whereby diasporans can actually send money that goes into the national, into the federation accounts. And, they put these instruments in place, and this money is then invested in factories, in job creation, in infrastructure development. It creates jobs, it employs people, and it boosts national wealth and income. At the moment, we are just sending money to family members, paying school fees, looking after relatives. The government, NIDCOM in particular, needs to do a lot more. They need to work with the central bank and come up with instruments that we can invest in Okay, just take power supply, for instance. Why do we not have an investment vehicle via which diasporans can invest in power supply in each of our 36 states? That would resolve the problem of epileptic power supply. Education is another area where we've got a big problem. One other area that is overlooked at the moment is healthcare. Now, a lot of diasporans, I can tell you this as Kanuche, a lot of diasporans remain in the diaspora because of the lack of a viable healthcare delivery system in Nigeria. If we sorted that out, you'll be amazed at the number of middle-aged and elderly diasporans who would return home. So if I was a NITCOM chair, one of the things I'd be doing now is putting in place a healthcare investment program that maybe allows us to invest in at least one general hospital in each of our 774 local government areas. If you have that, and then maybe have 2 or 3 specialist hospitals in each of the 36 states, it will resolve a lot of these issues, and you'll see diasporas coming back home to invest and to create more jobs. So we just need to think outside the box, and there's a lot of potential, a lot of opportunity out there, but I just don't think we've got our thinking hats on right.
Okay. All right, good. Now let's move to the final point of conversation on this panel roundtable today. It's about the budget and borrowing. If you follow the news, you will see that I think the National Assembly has approved MTEF, and there has been a public hearing, a joint public hearing of both houses on the issues of preparing for the budget. Hopefully, the budget is going to be presented before the end of the year. But one thing that has stuck out, or 2 things. Number one is that it seems that the revenue generation has increased fairly significantly. You know, customs is making more money, FRS is getting more Nigerians in the tax net, and all of that. As a matter of fact, there is even talk that we are getting close to 1.8 million barrels per day, or heading for 2 million barrels per day. So people are just juxtaposing that with the idea of, still requiring a $2 billion, facility, loan facility to close the gap in budget financing. And so the question has come up, and the federal government agencies, spokespeople, the minister, the FRS chairman, and the rest of them have said, look, I mean, we still need that, foreign earning gap to finance the budget. What's your take? First, Dairo.
It is clearly the case that even the best of times, when you have ramped up revenue from the usual sources, taxes, duties, levies, and even oil production, Nigeria will still have to borrow to augment these earnings. This is not even talking about the value of the earnings in Naira compared to dollar. Let us even leave that. There's been an agreement that there's a general improvement in revenue, and they've surpassed their targets, most of the MDAs.
Right.
So there's something fundamentally wrong with our economy. Fundamental. And we have to have a rethinking of our political economic philosophy in this country.
Okay.
Is when a man does not do anything productive, doesn't work, he doesn't do anything to earn money, but he's living an ostentatious lifestyle. So there are only 2 ways he can sustain that lifestyle. Either he steals or he extorts. And if he cannot steal and extort, then he borrows. So that is the category that Nigeria belongs to. You see, the day we started talking about government having no business in business was the beginning of the problems of Nigeria. So as we speak, beyond revenue generating entities like the FIRS, the customs, and NNPC, you can't point to me one single entity that belongs to either the state government of any state government in Nigeria or the federal government that is an income-generating business enterprise. It's almost absent. Whereas if you look at the economies of the Middle East, the Gulf countries, if you look at the economies of Europe, with the exception of the UK, which makes UK a strong economy amongst its European brother nations.
Right.
If you look at even the United States of America,
of
course, China, you have state-owned enterprises that are not just operating out, but that are multinationals, bringing in huge revenues in terms of foreign operations into the coffers of the government directly.
That's a good, interesting point. To just wrap it up, Ayo, are you following? What's your take on this idea of budget and borrowing? And you are in Nigeria, in the UK. I'm sure that you will have a unique perspective. Go on, Ayo.
Well, to be honest, you just look at the Nigerian economy. Our total GDP is about 500 billion. It's too small for 200 million people. Our foreign direct investment is just too tiny. We need an economy of at least $2 trillion to live at ease. Our annual budget is 25 billion. We need an annual budget of at least $1 trillion to live at ease with ourselves. And for me, the way to do this is to attract foreign direct investment. If we're getting something like, $3 trillion worth of foreign direct investment and maybe $1 trillion of internal investment, on top of that, it would create jobs. It would end all this insecurity crisis. I mean, in certain states of the country, our young people have no option other than kidnapping, because that is the only industry that is available to them. There are no schools, there are no vocational education, there's no manufacturing. So we in the diaspora would like to help. We're having an event, a gala dinner on December the 14th, and this is going to be one of the discussion topics we're going to have there. How can the UK diaspora assist in the development of Nigeria? It would be ideal if we had somebody from the Nigerian government to actually come and contribute and speak as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo Akinfe, the chairman of the Central Association of Nigerians in the UK. And right here in the studio, Mr. Moji Dairu, thank you for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you very much.
Inside Sources will be right back with a discussion with Colonel Bello Fadile. You remember him? That was the guy alongside people like then General Olusegun Obasanjo, who were facing the wrath of General Abacha before God saved their lives. Inside Sources will be right back. Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today, we have a special segment that is going to review a very interesting aspect of Nigeria's recent history. We all know the story of how in 1995, a number of military officers, serving military officers, and retired officers such as then General Olusegun Obasanjo and former General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua were arrested for what was then considered to be a phantom coup. My guest today is somebody that was in the middle of that story. He too was arrested. He was a serving a military officer, and he has actually written a book recently that was launched in Abuja. So I'd like to welcome to Inside Sources retired Colonel Bello Fadile.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Laolu.
You're welcome to Inside Sources.
Thank you, sir.
Our program is about the future of the country, but your story strikes me, going through the book and attending the launch of your pro-democracy fervor, even as a soldier. Of course, you are also a lawyer, so maybe that's where the connection is. So I wanted to ask you, as we open up this conversation, that how was it being a military officer, serving under a military government, and yet you had such a pro-democracy streak that eventually got into trouble? How was that?
Yeah, we can call it like a breach. The military decided to leave after the June 12.
Yes.
And an interim national government was set in place under Decree 63. And it was agreed that we will midwife another election and get the civilian back. The civilians that were elected were allowed to stay. And then my friend decided to say, no. First of all, even the civilian government were not disposed to Shonekan continue as the head of state. They wanted the June 12th, which was not possible at that time,
right? Because
the election was not conclusive. Even though they claim Abiola won, there are other procedures that will have gone ahead if we do that.
Formalize that.
Formalize it. And then we say, no, you can't do that. Then suddenly the second in command or the deputy to Shonekon, organize.
That was General Abacha.
Yes, organize a resignation.
And this was now August of 1998.
Unfortunately, it was November 18.
Sorry, November.
The same day I launched my book.
Interesting.
Yes, 18 November that he made that broadcast. Now, and then threw away the agreement, what the military said, look, we have enough. Let's set this country straight on a democratic standing. And then some say, no, you can't do this. You threw away the civilians that were working with Shonekon and brought in military again, which people rejected. And won't allow General Babangida, okay, fine, I'm leaving. Here is the template. Let's follow this. After a long the discussion, we came to that conclusion that the best option now is national interim government. Military, you go home and stay. But then he changed the template.
And
that Decree 63 was supposed to implement and bring in a new civilian government. So like-minded in the military say, no, this can't happen. And then from nowhere, they say, oh, these are IBB boys. How can it be IBB boys? The IBB is left. It's no longer there. Then you say the IBB boys. And on Saturday, you announce their retirement.
So this was now Abacha who had now taken over. He was the one that was saying that the people still making that request, that demand, were IBB boys.
Yes.
And he was referring to people like such as yourself.
Well, I was
Perceived.
How do I? No, well, I know. Perception is a different thing. Yes, I was, but not openly. I was.
But you were still you were still in the military at this time.
I was still in the military. Then he retired all my friends. He retired them on a Saturday, 17 of them.
But you survived that.
I survived that, and I survived it. I don't know how I survived it.
Okay, so this was 1993 November, post-November.
Yes, 1993-94 stroke. That's how we got it. Then he set up this thing. Then set up to review so many things. Our short panel to review the judiciary, which I was a member. Then he set up the police reform. Then they now call for white paper, which I was a member.
On the police reform?
I was a member of the Kawede short panel.
Okay.
I was the only military person there.
Okay.
All the others are judges and lawyers.
Right.
He also set up police reform just to buy time, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Then, when they submitted the report, he set up the white paper committee.
Okay.
And I was also a member. Now, it was when we were submitting the white paper committee reports to him that I told him, or he asked me, what are we hearing? Because the international community were not favorably disposed to it. And I said, well, what I said, yes, they want the military to go back to Barak.
So you told him that?
Yes, we discussed that. He said, how can I say that when during Babangida's time, there were more military personnel in his cabinet than he? So I said, Babangida's time is different. You are a different person under a different circumstances, and the decree that Babangida set up and made you the deputy with a clause that if the head of state resigns, you take over. Now, taking over does not mean you dispose of the decree. That's not what it means. It means you take over as the head of state and continue with the cabinet, but you turn it upside down. So that's why the international community are not happy with you. It's okay, what will I say? I can go around ask the military men, officers and soldiers, should we go back to Bala or continue like this? That's what I was doing. I told him that much.
But in your own estimation, why did Babangida leave Abacha behind? In your own estimation.
Certainly, you don't expect me to answer that question because I'm not General Babangida.
Okay, because I mean, just like you said now, so the Decree 63 actually indicated that he would be the deputy.
If something happened to the head, which is normal.
Yeah.
Now, the circumstance of his resignation, we know is not normal.
Yeah, because eventually, took advantage of that by forcing Shonekon to resign.
Yes, and then one other message that a lot of people didn't know was I was actually posted as ADC to Shonekon.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't know why, because if I had been the ADC, it probably wouldn't have happen.
So why didn't you resume as ADC?
Why didn't I resume? Because the chief of army staff said I should wait.
Okay.
They said I should wait until he comes back from Malta, where he went for Commonwealth head of state, this Commonwealth head of state meeting that year. So I was hanging around, and that is it.
So when he now came back, why didn't you resume?
When he came, if you calculate the time when he came back, that was when the whole thing.
And then they removed him.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's now fast forward to 1995. When this Obasanjo, and people like such as yourself were implicated, quote unquote, in the phantom coup. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, when these people were the people of Star were retired, I became kind of, according to the SIP and Mujakuru, I was the king.
Special investigation panel.
Yes, I was the kingpin of the movement to overthrow the government. I said, no, I didn't want to overthrow the government. We want an interim government back. And now I was the one now running around, doing all the running around. The question now is, what about OBJ? General Obasanjo was doing his own with his, what do you call it?
African Leadership Forum.
No, National Unity Organization of Nigeria. Okay. Nobody's thinking about it.
He was calling for a national...
No, that was his organization. He was the chairman. He was also calling for the military to go back to Barak. Is there...
So he was doing his own advocacy.
He has his own, yes.
But inside the...
then I was one consulting, should we go back? Everybody said we should go back, How do we... I said, okay, we'll decide that. Again, a lot of people forgot what General Shehu Yar'Adua was doing in the Constituent Assembly, where they actually set a date line for military to leave. He mobilized the people and they passed a resolution that they must leave. So you see, General Obasanjo with his National Organization of Unity Organization, National Unity Organization of Nigeria, of which he was chairman. General Yar'Adua in the National Assembly mobilizing the people there. They came out with a resolution with setting a date line for the military to leave.
To create.
Not only that, he followed up with the general conference in Lagos, called generalizing, this is our chance. And he also emphasized, if I was arrested after the conference, I was there doing the only way they can do is if we form a national conference. How do we form it? That was how I came in. And then he said he has not met me. He doesn't know me.
That's
General Olusegun Obasanjo. I said, fine, I don't have problem with you. That was my second time actually of meeting him.
Okay.
When he brought his operational officer, Captain Ayinde Yaya.
Okay.
He's a retired military officer. I said, okay, this guy will work with me. Will work with us. He will not come for the meeting.
So
the three of us will now form an alliance, and I was the one doing all the running around.
So you were in the military.
I was in the military.
The second person was Obasanjo with now,
yes.
And then the third person was Yar'Adua.
That's right.
So what did you guys all agree to do?
Form an interim national government.
Okay, so will you say then that indeed you guys really wanted to remove Abacha?
No. Did he remove? How did he remove? He asked him to resign, and he took over. He resigned. Very simple. Resign.
So you wanted to reverse that?
Yes.
That was the agreement of the three of you?
Well, we want to form an interim national government. Who is executing it? I was the one planning it. I had their backing. So because of their various activities, their own activities.
So at what point were you then arrested?
Okay, it took a long time before I was arrested.
All of this was now, we're not talking of late 1993.
Late 1994.
Late 1994?
Yes, I was arrested February 26, 1995.
Yes.
Yes, it was built up over the time. Some people I talked to, the prosecution witness I talked to, now decided to go and tell the general officer commanding 1 Infantry Division, who is he's late now, Abdullahi Ahmed.
Yeah.
He now carried him. No, I should not be the only one to hear that Bello wants to form an interim government. Let's go and meet the head of state. So they drove to Abuja.
This was before you were arrested?
That's what I'm telling you what led to my arrest.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I was wondering, because you said prosecution witness, there wasn't any panel at that
time. Who became
prosecution
witness.
Okay. Yes.
Now himself and the GOC 1 division now drove from Kano to Abuja and he said, Shuaibu, tell Oga what Bello told you. Say, Bello say he wants to form an interim government. The military should go back to barrack. He say, okay, go and investigate.
Okay.
Yeah, go and investigate.
Investigate.
Now.
So who were they reporting this to?
They were reporting to General Abacha.
Abacha?
Yeah.
And you were there?
I wasn't there.
Oh, okay. You just got this.
No, you see, I brought the prosecutor because in his statement, he put everything down in black and white. Okay. I wrote how I came to him and how this thing happened, what he did, and what he now told me, okay, go and be asking questions about Bello. If he's really planning coup, he will need money. He will need people. He will need who are the people involved?
Okay.
He came back, I want money, I want this. I said, Shuaibu, I'm not giving anybody any money. The best you can get, if you have the interim government, is good training. Go overseas for training. Go and be defense attaché. That's all you can get. There's no money for anybody.
Okay. Yes. So because you're telling us how you now eventually got arrested.
Now, okay, well, let's fast forward to the day of my arrest. My arrest
in February 95.
February 26th was a Sunday.
1995.
1995. I had a friend. The cardinal's mother died. We were going for the mother's burial.
Okay. Is that Cardinal
Onayekon in Kaba?
Okay.
So I had gotten permission on a Monday that I will be traveling to Kaba on a Thursday for the burial and then come back on Sunday. So I called my friend who lives in Ikeja. I said, please, I'm going to Kaba on Thursday. On my way back on Sunday, I will stop by and have pounded yam with bushmeat and fruit salad.
Okay.
Now, at this time, I didn't know they are monitoring
what you were doing.
What I was saying. They already, because I don't say I should talk about the rest. Shuaibu had already told them, so he now said they should monitor me and find out what I was ready. So they had monitored my phone and heard what I was saying.
Okay.
Now the Monday before Thursday, the chief of air staff called me and left. I hadn't got to the office there. I left a number in my office that if I come, I should call him on his personal number. I got the chief of air staff called you. This is the number I say you should call him. I said, we are from the same village. His mother and my grandmother are neighbors. We grew up together. You know, he's my senior. So I said, okay, I called the chief. Said, morning, sir. How are you? So I said, Tunde, how now? Your promotion, we need to watch it. I have not seen you since you are promoted. This is February. I was promoted in November.
This was the chief of
air staff.
Air staff.
Yes, Femi John Femi.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that can we meet on Wednesday during games day in the officers' mess, which is not far from my office.
Okay.
My office is in Bonica. Can we meet? I said, oh, fine, sir, no problem. So I should meet him. Then on Wednesday they were doing their sport. That's the Air Force officers.
Okay.
So I met him. We went to one of the rooms. They brought out wine. Let's celebrate. I'm not seeing you drink wine. Are you going for Kadanayekon's mother's wedding? I said, yes, sir. I've already gotten a pass. I'll be traveling on Thursday, the following day. He said, no, you don't have to travel. I'm going to. I've arranged a plane to take us to Ajaokuta. Then you have a vehicle that will carry us
to
Kaba. My mind was weak. I said, I can't say no. Because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And I agreed. So
he was a superior officer.
He was a superior officer, and we are going for the same event.
Yeah.
We are both Catholic.
Yeah.
We are honoring the Yajo.
Exactly.
So I said, okay, fine. I don't have a problem with that. Then, Thursday, we are going to leave on Friday.
Yes.
So Friday morning, my driver drove me to his house.
Okay.
We now took the convoy to the airport, to the airbase.
To the airbase too.
He now said, okay, I should tell my driver. I said, what time are we coming back on? So he said, no, I shouldn't worry. I should not tell my driver should not come for me.
Okay.
Is it not strange?
This was Friday.
This was Friday at the airport.
Yeah.
My driver should not come. I shouldn't worry. He should not come. I said, okay. So I left. So we left for Ajaokuta. We got to Ajaokuta. The vehicles were there. They carried us there. And then I didn't have a house then. I always stay in my mother's house.
Okay.
So we went to the house. We ate. I said, I'm going. He said, no, where are you going? I wait. Let's go and greet him. We went and greeted him. Then we were doing the service of song that Friday.
Okay.
So I didn't go to my house. I was with him throughout. From there, we went to the place. We'll start in the same
chief
place.
of hair staff.
Yes, with him, we went to the service of Yes, we finished the service of song. Then to take me, we said, no, let's go home and eat. We finished it, it's okay. Late in the night, like around 10 or 11, they said they should go and drop me in my house, my mother's house, where I normally stay.
Okay.
So they dropped me there. And then, strange, I don't know what happened. I came out in the night to urinate. You know these village people?
Yeah, yeah.
Then I saw a staff car, one of his car.
In front of the
house with the boys, awake. He said, no, what happened? I said, no, Oga said we should stay here. He didn't ring any bell.
To you.
He didn't ring any bell. So in the morning, they carried me.
This was not Saturday.
This was not Saturday. We went to his place, ate. We went to the church. And then the same thing that happened on Friday happened again Saturday night. I was with him throughout. I couldn't go anywhere. Then Sunday, they came and carried me to his house.
Yeah.
We had breakfast. Then back to Ajaokuta. We drove to Ajaokuta, flew
back to Lagos.
Back to Lagos. We got to Lagos. He said I should sit with him in his car. Because he said I shouldn't bring my car. So I sat with him in his car. Then we went straight to his house.
Okay.
In Ikoyi. We got to his house. Here's Mandayam. Here's Bushmeat.
Not knowing that they were preparing you for...
Yes. All this thing didn't ring bell until when I was arrested and the statement that were being made. So I said, okay, fine. We finished. Okay, no, we finished eating. So I'll take fruit salad. Fruit salad. Watermelon fruit salad that I requested for.
Yes.
Here he served me. So by the time I finished all these things, we came out, there was nobody, all the cars were gone except his ADC. He now said, take him to his house. The ADC has never been to my house.
Okay.
But he said, take him to his house.
He told his ADC?
Yes, take him to his house. And the man drew me straight to my house.
Oh, wow. So when did the arrest happen?
This is Sunday now. This was at about 11 or so. So we got to my house. I entered my house. And normally when I travel, I come back, I call my family in England. Yeah. So I took the international, I have an international line and local line.
Okay.
I dialed the international line. It was pam, 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 pam.
It didn't go?
It didn't go. It has been disconnected.
Oh, wow.
I said, okay, let me go to my office because, again, I have international line. I have 2 international lines in my office.
Okay.
One in my office, one for the general use. I went back there.
Was the office in Tottenham Barracks? Or?
No, my office is just across. I live across the bridge, that Victoria Bridge.
Okay.
By Onikon.
All right.
That's where my house is. Right. So I said, okay, let me go and get it. I came out. My brother-in-law had taken the car I wanted to use. So as soon as he came, I now took the car. As I was going out, one officer blocked my road that I can't go out.
This is now from your house?
Yes, from my house.
You wanted to go to the office?
We wanted to go to the office.
Sunday night?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning?
Sunday morning. Around
so
11,
you came back in the morning?
We came back in the morning, between 11 and 12 or thereabout. He said, no, you can't go. I said, why? He said, the DMI said I shouldn't be allowed to go anywhere. But I'm under house arrest. It's somebody I've known.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And if I want to go anywhere, he will be the one to drive. Then he now opened his French chute. Right. I can see his pistol. My mind started working. I said, okay, fine. Let's go. I went back to the house. If I'm under house arrest, what is going to be? I called the DMI. The line didn't go. I called the Adjutant General Popola. They said I should hold on.
There's a lot there. Popola was former governor of your state.
Yes. They said I should hold on. After some time, I said, oh, Oga has not come back from Ibadan. I mean, definitely, there's no way he wouldn't have come back from Ibadan.
At that time.
And then I see something is happening.
It's fishy.
something is fishy. And now, because the local line is still working, I now call Shuaibu in Zaria. I said, Shuaibu, what is going on? He said, I don't know. What do you mean, what is going on? I said, yes, this officer just told me I'm under house arrest. The DMI said I should not be allowed to go anywhere. Do you know anything? He doesn't know anything. Oh. Me, I'm here in Zaria. I said, okay, thank you. So I dropped the line. Of course, I went upstairs and clear my study of any. Because, I mean, I know what I was doing. The coincidence was just too much.
Right.
So at about 1, 2, I went upstairs to go and sleep. At about 2 or thereabout, then 3 soldiers with rifle pointing at the head of my second son came up to the bedroom upstairs that I'm under house. I'm arrested.
Oh wow!
You're under arrest, yes. Then the officer came in and said, sorry, sir, the DMI said I should bring you to his house. I was just laughing. I said, my son, what has my son got to do this?
Exactly.
I am the soldier. He's not a military person. Why are you doing that? I said, no, sir, the DMI, sorry, sir. The DMI said I should bring you to his house. I was in my shirt. I said, can I change? So, yes, so I changed to my French suit, took my diary, because I knew, my mind was working fast. Yeah. So that's how they now took me. I said, but you are not going to DMI house. Because I know by the time I came out, the whole place was filled with soldiers. So they had been, I said, but you know what? I said, you travel. What have you? They've been here since morning. They are deployed here since morning.
Interesting. And one of the things that you recalled, that was also mentioned during the launch of your book, 9 Lives, was that you were put in that prison where, you were the only one that survived. It was this prison they put, was it Hagungu, where they put Dimka and the rest of it.
It is a house we lived in. McPherson versus Bodilon. It's a junction house, number 9A.
Okay.
It's a junction house. If you are coming from Awolowo, once you turn in the McPherson Road, the first row house on the right. Okay. It's number 9A. It's now Grenada Mission is now housing. I think they bought it and rebuilt it.
Oh, I see.
Now, the 4 of us had lived in that house.
The 4 of you being?
Dimka, Yoshe, Bityong, and myself.
Well, you lived there at different times?
At different times. I lived there when I was in law school.
Okay. So all of them were implicated in...
All of them were involved, yes.
And they were executed?
Yes.
So you were the only one who lived in that house and survived?
Yes.
Okay. So what about the torture that was reported that they turned you upside down and all that? Was that true?
Yes. For first 2-3 days, yes, of torture, they did that. And I told them, look, I'm telling you the truth. If you kill me, you won't get anything.
But what truth did you tell them?
That I was planning an interim government. I didn't hide it. Yes, I was asking officers, I was doing everything. If you want to charge me for sedition, I'm ready to say plead guilty to sedition. But all these arrests we are making is nonsense. I wasn't planning any coup or treason or anything.
But if you are planning for an interim government, and there was a sitting head of state, why did you consider that is...
How did Shonekon go? The Shonekon plan?
Well, that's your point. Your point is that you are...
There's a law. Yeah. How did he become head of state? Yes. How did he was trying to revoke me. You can't... Because he is the one who planned, not me. He has an interim government by law. Then you say if the man resigned, they didn't tell us the circumstances of how he resigned, but we know how he resigned.
And that law also did not permit all the
removing the civilian or bringing in soldiers. It didn't.
So the Decree 63 permitted all those governors because they are governors already,
Yes.
And now so this coup basically upturned everything. And you are saying that look, let's go back to that.
But General Babangida left. And so okay. You people, we don't want us, fine. But don't forget we are Nigerian. Fine, but let's and then we were supposed to support Shonekon to do, and I believe that was one of the reasons where I was posted as he said this.
Okay, interesting. So and I remember that when you now went to submit the police report,
yes,
you said the president, the General Abacha head of state.
Yes, hey, look, what is going on? Yes, because I have access to him. I don't need appointment. No, anything I want because I was coordinating the chairman of the Constitutional Conference, Honorable Justice Kariba White,
Yes.
and him.
Okay.
I was kind of a link
Between them.
because I had worked with Honorable Justice Kariba White.
And for the purpose of our leaders, so it was General Abacha that set up the Karibi White Constitutional Assembly.
Yes. I had worked with Karibi White in another court,
Okay.
or tribunal. Then I was a major.
Right.
Till he's dead, he called me major. You are promoted, they say, no, it's major, I know. So it became anything concerning the military, major, what do we say? Look at this, they are pushing me here, they are doing here. I said, okay, I'll tell the president. I'll tell the head of state, okay, you want to come.
Thank you, retired Colonel Bello Fadile, for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Laolu.
And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail. Nigeria prevailed over the heady days of Sani Abacha. Nigeria will prevail even now. Thank you for watching. My name is Laolu Akonde, and by the grace of God, I'll see you on Sunday.